Welcome to Bread and Butter TV, coming to you live from Studio 34 in Footscray. Today we're talking all things truffle, and I've got my truffle experts with me here right now. Mike Baker, the chef and part owner of Henry's Sugar in North Carlton, and his business partner and seriously good cocktail man, Dan Mason. We're about to make some really delicious food here. Mike is going to make a truffle donut with some beautiful Gruyère cheese from Lartison down in Western Victoria and truffle grated all over the top. Can't wait to try that. And Dan is going to make an old-fashioned, but it will be infused with truffle and honey. So it's going to warm the cockles of everyone's hearts. Can't wait to try it. Let's get into it.
Alrighty, so we're going to start with a little bartender's trick, which is a great way to infuse flavors into alcohol that might not be alcohol soluble, and it's called fat washing. Really easy to do at home. We're going to start.
Where does that word come from?
It's not really sure actually. It's basically
fat wash.
I want
Well, I guess you coat the vessel with fat and then you wash it with the
you're washing
liquid.
a flavor. Yeah, it becomes the conduit for flavors that will infuse into fats to then go into the alcohol.
And what have we got here? Tell us about.
So we're going to use a Victorian whiskey. So this is Morris from Rutherglen. It's quite a new product from them. So they're the winemakers. They've been up there since 1859.
And they're really big on the fortifieds, right?
They do a lot of fortifieds, which is I guess why they're getting into whiskey. There's a big shortage on barrels, fortified barrels for whiskey making. So they've got enough of those. So they're putting their whiskey in their own fortified barrels.
Okay, so
Everyone
has a jar at home.
You've got a jar. I would recommend using a wide mouth jar because once the fat freezes, if you do it in the bottle, it's going to clog up that neck and you're not going to be able to get the liquid out. So wide mouth jar. I'm not going to be scientific here either. I'm going to take some truffle oil and just basically eyeball a bit of that in there.
Bit of a blob.
You wouldn't want to drink it like this because you've got all that oil floating on top. It's not going to be particularly pleasant. Put it in, give it a shake, and then you can let that sit for an hour or so. Pop it in the freezer, and that fat will float to the surface, freeze solid, and then you just pour it through a kitchen strainer, and you're left with perfectly clear, no fat left in there, and that's it. So if you want to...
So what is it? It's just the truffle particles that stay in there, or how does it work?
You might be able to explain that better. Basically,
I mean,
it's the flavor compounds that will go into the oil.
So you wouldn't do this with an actual truffle. It's better to use oil.
We did some tests.
It doesn't come out. That's
didn't
the
really
thing.
come through,
So
yeah.
the truffle has so many fat soluble compounds, as Dan was saying. So you need that fat to get them out, and then, as it turns out, from that fat, does a really nice infusion into a liquid or an alcohol.
You can do this with any fat as well. So like if you cook some brown butter in the pan, stick it into a bottle of whiskey or rum, and then
butter.
freeze it, you'll have brown butter rum. So yeah, we do it a lot at the restaurant. Like we use wattle seed and coffee beans and all these sorts of flavors to get those flavors.
The wattle seed Negroni is definitely
delicious.
worth
You had one of those recently, didn't you?
I did.
But have a whiff of that. So that's the...
It's just nuts.
Yeah.
It's sweet. It's
So surprisingly strong, isn't it? The truffle.
But yeah, it's intense. The truffle smell.
Yeah.
But it's all captured in the sweetness as well.
And we're getting those right flavors out of there. Like if you do just soak things straight into alcohol, it's not predictable on what sort of flavors are going to come out. Like you might get those sort of harsh bitter notes and stuff. Whereas if the oil's good, the flavor in the whiskey is going to be good.
Fantastic.
When you usually do a fat wash, like I've seen you in the bar, coat the inside of the bottle and then freeze that and pour the liquid into that.
That was actually wax aging. That was something slightly different.
Right,
That's
okay.
getting a little.
These guys, I have to say, it's true. They're very geeky. The great thing when you go and do Henry's Sugar,
Thanks, Wendy.
the benefits of all this geekiness.
We hide it all in the background there. So to the old-fashioned, we're going to add a little bit of sweetener. So we have a local honey. This comes from Wonga Park. We get the honeycomb. It's really, really dark. You might have met the guy. He's at the Carlton North Farmers Market.
Oh, right.
Bad bees. But
Bad bees.
yeah.
Cool.
Really savoury, earthy honey. So we don't want
looks quite
too much
thin.
sweetness. I've added a little bit of hot water, good observation there, so that we can dissolve it easily into the cocktail. Because if
Okay.
you use straight honey, it's going to set as soon as we put any ice in there. So just a touch of like 2 tablespoons of boiling water, get it loose, and then it's ready to go. We're going to add 2 shots of our truffle whiskey, or as much as you like really, but we're going to keep it pretty normal. A little bit of bitters. This is just Angostura bitters. We keep it quite simple. And I've got one little secret ingredient that we use a lot at the restaurant, and that's saline solution. So a 10% solution of salt dissolved into water. We use this in most cocktails, same as cooking. Put some salt in your food.
Balance the salt and the sweet.
Exactly. It cuts bitterness back, so it does bring out natural sweetness as well without making it more sugary.
What was the formula again?
We use 10%. So I think about 12.5% is the saturation point of salt.
So this is like the geeky version of putting a salt rim around your margarita.
Exactly. But do this in everything. We put it in our martinis. We put it in most drinks on the menu.
And you're trying to figure out what that magic ingredient is.
It's true though.
A couple of drops of salt.
Every time I get given a cocktail to try, and Dan's like, "What do you think this needs?" I'll be like, "I think it needs a little bit of salt, mate."
little bit of salt.
It's always the same with like sorbets and ice creams. They always just need a pinch of salt.
Sorry,
That's it.
noisy there. So we're going to add some ice. We've got these fancy blocks here to serve over. Excuse the hands.
Very pretty.
And they say, the longer the spoon, the better the bartender. So I've just got a short one here today. But
Never heard that.
No, I haven't either actually.
Well, it's all about how
So
he
this
uses it, isn't it?
All about the stirring, no shaking.
Yep, no shaking. We're just giving it a gentle dilution, bringing those flavors together.
Ice is always a big part of cocktail making. Is there a reason for that?
I think good ice is important. Like it's a large portion of your drink. Like in a stirred drink like this, it's about 30% water, 25 to 30%. So that's that's a portion of your drink. In shaken drinks, it's a little higher. So if you've got the container of ice at home, it's good to keep a lid on it in the freezer so it doesn't pick up. Ice loves to pick up flavors, so if it's
Aromas,
sitting
yeah.
next to the meat in the freezer, you're going to have some really lovely meat-flavored ice. So keep it in a sealed container and use lots of it. Like I've got a little skimpy here, but ice keeps ice cold. So fill up your shaker, fill up your glass.
So you've got less that melts into the drink.
Yep. I think that's probably about good.
Okay.
This is not chill filtered whiskey, which means that when it does get cold, you see the little bit of cloudiness come out. So this is purely just from the whiskey. Can you give me a little slice of truffle there, Mikey?
Absolutely, mate.
The magic ingredient.
Of course.
And
If we don't put it on top, no one will believe that it's in there.
There we go.
Melbourne's geeking out on truffles at the moment with the Truffle Festival that just happened at the Queen Vic Market a week or so ago. But we've still got a whole other month and a bit, really, don't we? Of
Yeah, I mean,
truffle
it's
season to go
been
up
cold.
until the end of August, probably. They're saying.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Be excited.
Is that all right?
I think that's pretty good.
It's like
Look at
that's
that.
cool. That's a $50 worth of truffle.
That's what they pay me the big bucks for, to come in and slice away.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
So when you tell your guests at the restaurant how to drink this, is there a special way to do it? Like
Through the
just do
lips,
whole
probably,
big
yeah.
sniffy thing? Is there a bit of
I
a
think
ritual?
give it a whiff first. Yeah, I mean truffle is so much about the aroma. So
This feels seriously medicinal.
Yeah.
Like if you had whatever
Yeah.
whatever ailed you
Yep.
on any particular day, I think this would be.
whiskey is medicine.
Oh man, you should have made a few different glasses so you could have some as well. Is
Well,
there some
I've got-
more?
well, there's some
Can
extra.
you make another one?
We can make a couple extra.
That'd be good, because I'm not sharing.
No, that's fine. Go for that one. I'll be driving home later today.
Now that I don't know. In fact, I don't know what is going on in my mouth right now because
It's a bit confusing, or?
it's really confusing. It's delicious, but it's
There's some
it's
big flavors.
big. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because the sweetness. You need that big sweetness for the big flavors of the truffle.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's a beautiful drink.
Awesome.
Highly recommend this, guys.
Don't go
This
too
is-
fast on that one.
No, I better not. I'm going to stay compos mentis for the donuts. That's what we're going to crack into now. Has the microwave gone ding?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, looks pretty good.
These are so don't have a deep fryer handy.
No,
These are
we're
the
just gonna-
amazing donuts
Pop these in the oven to warm through.
that are going to go into the oven now. At how hot are you warming those up at?
180.
180.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Would you consider actually selling the donuts for people to do this at home?
No.
Or just me?
I'll drop you off a couple.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, my chefs would kill me. They hate rolling them.
that's
We go
funny.
through so many of them.
And if you were to do this, this custard and put it into something else, like a milk bun or something else, is there
Yeah.
anything else you'd recommend people
Oh,
do
yeah.
at home?
Oh, just on toast?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, think of it as a really fancy kind of cream cheese, I reckon. Like
Or
a
you could do it
spreadable
as a
cheese.
fondue.
Absolutely. You could do, anything you can dip in it.
fondue.
Yep. What else? Like on brioche as well, in a sandwich. Yeah.
So you don't feel as though you have to make your own homemade donuts to make this thing. Okay, so this has been in the microwave 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And it
it's
looks a little bit like scrambled eggs right now.
it seems to be a pretty powerful microwave actually. So it's done a pretty good job. And then so you've got some of the whey down the bottom, which we're just going to pour off. So we probably don't need that. I'll just get a little container. Yeah, one of your little bowls would be good. Thank you. There's not.
Rid of the liquid, okay.
Yeah, just gives you a bit more flexibility if it's too.
So just to remind everybody, or anyone who's jumped on after the start, tell us what's in this mixture.
So egg yolks, cream, and milk at this
Equal
point.
parts.
Equal parts egg yolks to cream, and a little bit less milk.
Okay,
That's it. So I didn't get much whey out of that, but I like to pour it off. You sometimes end up adding it back in, but it just means you've got the control to adjust the consistency.
Okay.
Cool.
So is that something the microwave does more than other ways of cooking it?
It just cooks it in a really. No, I mean it would come out in a pot as well if you cooked it gently or a bain marie. But yeah. But it's just
microwave to rescue here.
I mean it's just a really easy way to do it at home, you know.
Now this is my dodgy blender that we bought from home. It's about to get very loud.
Yeah.
Does anyone get a
It's not
gonna-
raincoat
down.
just in case?
Is it going to blow up in my face on camera?
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Ready?
There we go.
Cool. So I'll just get it going. Thank you. We'll get the cheese in there.
All right. So what are we putting in?
So we're putting in an Australian Gruyère
Great.
by a company called L'Artisan.
Ah.
Yeah.
Down the west of Victoria.
And they're and
Goes up.
it's called Meponga Gruyère.
Okay.
All right, just give us a second. I'll
Stir.
knock some of that air out.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
This is not the chef's fault. This is my equipment here, so don't blame me.
Give it a little shake.
All right.
All right,
Rehearsed,
we'll
as
get
you can tell.
Perils of live TV.
there. Get in there.
Is it is integrating a bit?
Yeah. We'll get there.
Next time we'll bring the fancy Thermomix.
Oh, you got a Thermomix, do you?
Yeah, no, I just thought I'd bring this and then you could see what was going on. Because you don't know what's going on in the Thermomix.
True.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Continue with that.
You happy with this?
Yeah.
All right. Whew. Okay.
So you can see how like silky that is now. Like all those curds are just ground
Oh,
up. So
yeah.
it's actually
Tiny.
a pretty decent blender, I have to say.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah. Is there any salt handy?
Yes.
Looks like there's some there, yeah.
There we go.
Because it seems to be the secret ingredient for everything.
Oh, I could just use the saline solution, eh?
You could.
It's very cool. Honestly, I'm blissing out on the smell of this more than...
I think it's definitely the aroma.
yeah.
I think you also, if you're making it at home, you can add like a little bit of Amaro or some liqueur or something if it's too whiskey, it's too strong.
Excuse me.
great echoey sound we've got going on in here at Studio 34, which I should say, if you're wondering what this beautiful space is, Studio 34 only opened very recently in Moreland Street in Footscray, right near the river and the Arts Precinct here in Footscray. And it's an amazing place. Neil and Christian just opened it to do photography, video, fun parties, whatever. And if you want to get in touch with them, DM me and I'll hook you up. If you're in the food industry and you want to do some fun filming here in this kitchen, we're still growing our kitchen facilities and our equipment, but we're getting there. So sing out. It's a really fun space. Okay.
Can I hit this one last time?
Please.
All right. So I ended up adding the whey in the end because it was a little bit thick.
Now, for anyone who's just joined us, assuming that our live stream is still going perfectly, thank you to the social media gods out there. I'm here with the co-owners of Henry Sugar in North Carlton, and they're helping me figure out what to do with truffles. This is going to be a truffle speckled custard donut, which I'm really looking forward to trying. Yeah. Live on film, that's a great thing to chew into, isn't it? We're going to put it all over our faces. And Dan just made...
Want to taste that?
Oh, thank you. Oh, wow, that's intense too. Girl needs a drink. We just made... Tell us the official name.
Well, it's the truffle old-fashioned. A little bit of local honey in there.
With local honey. And we're just fixing up the sound. And we're about to stuff some of Mike's. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Do you want to have a look at this, Neil? How beautiful and shiny this has turned out to be. And it was all done in the microwave with a blender, which I just think is the coolest thing. I know we've got some anti-microwave people out there, but let's face it, if you've got a microwave, you can pretty much do anything, right?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it does have its place. I think it is really useful for some things, you know. I mean, at the end of the, I'm not allowed to get sciencey, so I won't go in.
If you do it, I'll shut you down.
So,
right.
yeah.
So you have the donuts.
Yep.
Was there something else you were going to make with this, or are we just doing another one?
I can make another one.
Yeah, I think we
we're
should
doing
make
the
another one for Neil and Christian.
Yeah,
because,
I think so.
This is party town, right?
I think that's a good idea.
Bring the thumb up. All right. Any tips?
Here's your plate.
Okay. Any tips for piping? Because it can be a bit fraught. I tend to sort of be a bit heavy-handed when I pipe something. Is that...
Oh, I don't think you can be too heavy-handed with the Gruyère custard. No. I mean, also, in this application, you can't really go wrong, to be honest, because you're just stuffing it.
You're just putting a little tiny slit, though, because they
just a little incision.
A little bit... There's a bit of a void inside these donuts? Or?
It'll just sort of make way for itself, you know, like they're quite light and fluffy, so you don't need, you can just sort of stuff it in there.
I wish there was smellogram on this, because with the smell
whiskey
of the cocktail
so
from
intense.
this side and the hot custard here is, it's a buttery, eggy festival going on in this kitchen right now. Beautiful.
One tip though I can give you for the piping is just cutting it off a bit closer to the tip so that you've got a bit more control, so you can do it all with one hand and you get a bit more force. That's quite a good one.
If you don't get all of this in, is it able to be kept?
Yeah, it would keep probably 3 or 4 days, I reckon, in the fridge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then what, zap it in the microwave again?
No, I think it would. No, you don't need to. If you're putting it on something hot, you know, by the time.
Bring it up to room temperature.
Yeah.
Great.
That's that. So.
Drum roll with the magic truffles.
All right.
Here we go.
I'm just gonna do these in here actually.
Oh, just making a bit of a mess there.
And shave a little bit of the.
Is this the same?
This is the same Gruyère cheese, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Lartisan cheese guys are incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome, eh? So nice to have some of that level of cheese that's from here as well.
Yeah, that's right. I will tag the producers in once we've loaded this puppy up. Look at that. Hang on. I'm going to video. Hang on, slow down, mate. I'm going to video this too.
Yeah, get in there.
Look at that. Awesome. Amazing. And this is what turns up at your table at Henry Sugar. And everyone saw how easy that was, right? Right? Super easy.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like a magic superpower being able to create a custard like that in a microwave, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
And the cool thing about it is you can use any cheese you like, really. You just, if you can save that whey, put it aside, then even if you're using a softer cheese, you just sort of keep adding the cheese until you've got the desired flavour, and then you can add the whey if you need it or not, you know. So with a softer cheese, you probably wouldn't need it, you know.
right. Well, hop in.
Get in there. Okay. Cheers.
Oh, I'm not going to miss out on this.
Awesome.
I haven't had one of these for ages, actually.
Yeah, me neither.
You don't get sick of them?
Well, I don't know. You just don't really, when you make it all the time, I don't know. You just don't really eat it.
eat
Like, I
your
don't
own
much
food.
eat ice cream. Yeah. You
make ice cream as well.
don't get high off your own supply, you know.
Well, let's see if we can bust through that.
Mm.
Is there? So it's definitely a.
There's no elegant way to eat these.
Ah.
There isn't. I've got truffle all over my face. Seriously, this is the custard and the truffle everywhere. Right now, I feel like this is a combination of your fondest memories of fried food at the Melbourne show with a very, very grown-up flavour of truffle. It's got sweetness of the cheese, the smoothness of the custard. Wow.
Yeah, it's a good contrast, eh? Texturally as well.
Do you sell out of these things?
Yeah, quite regularly.
This is serious drinking food.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think?
Delicious.
Catching you with your mouth full.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
always
good.
good.
Yep.
Perils of hosting, seriously. I feel as though I have truffle in my hair right now because I nailed it as I bit. This is absolutely divine.
Ah, cool. Thank you.
And just goes to show that if you can actually get yourself a little truffle, like it may be, what would it cost? Like $40 for a lump of truffle?
Yeah, roughly. Yep.
And that you can do this and a drink, scrambled eggs.
Oh, you'd still have lots of
What do
the
we
truffle
use
left
just then?
over.
About half of a small one. Maybe not even.
Not
Yeah.
even really. Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, it goes a long way. So it is one of those things that seems really expensive, but you don't use much.
Yeah, it's a delicacy. Well,
Yeah.
I know that there are people in this right here at Studio 34 who are pretty keen to chomp into some of this as well. We've got more in the oven. We're going to give it a bit of a crack. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your truffle god skills with us. It was fantastic.
No
And this
worries.
drink, seriously, it's unbelievable. I'll be nursing this for a little while.
Yeah,
Is that one ready to go?
Oh, there's another.
Yeah, there is another one over
You
here.
better put some truffle on top.
Yeah, well, I just wanted. I should probably try it with the truffle, you know, with the donut.
Yes, you should. Because it's important. You know, you need to make sure that your customers are getting the right flavours. So, thank you, everyone. We've actually gone for much longer than I thought I would, but hey, it's truffles and it's truffle season.
Can't
so
rush
make
these
sure,
things.
Yeah, that's right. Make sure you get out and try the truffles. If you're not feeling so game yourself to do it yourself, head to Henry Sugar in Rathdown Street in North Carlton. You guys are open most days, aren't you?
Closed Tuesday, Wednesday at the moment.
Which is how they're
But-
actually here with me. It's my favourite little local in North Carlton. It's a great place to go. So thank you guys. You've been such good
No worries.
sports.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming in.
Wendy.
You've been watching Bread and Butter TV. Stay tuned. We're going to be up at Mount Buller next week, checking out the food offerings up there. So look out for us on the socials.